What's going on? So today I'm going to show you how you can create this low poly island in Blender. So let's get to it. So here we are in Blender version 3.3 and I have my screencast keys on the bottom left corner so you can see exactly what I click and type. So let's go ahead and click on the default cube, press X and delete. Then I'm going to do Shift A, I'm going to go into Mesh, Plane, I'll press S and let's do 10 for right now and scale it about right here. And we can actually go press 0 to see the camera view to see how it fits, and technically we could go even further, but for right now let's go ahead and tap into edit mode, E to extrude, drag it up a little bit and then click out. So if I were to just go over, you can see we have this sort of thickness, and then simply tap back out, and this essentially is going to be the ocean. So right away I'm going to go to the right side and let's just type in ocean, tab into edit mode, and we're going to make this fairly simple. We're going to do, if you're using Mac or Windows, it's going to be Command R or Control R to add the loop cuts. And then let's do 12, see how that looks. And it looks like it's not crazy amount, so let's actually, I'm going to backspace twice and I'm going to redo and type in 20. So there we go. Now let me hit escape. So now we got about 20 loop cuts. You can add more, change it, up to you. And then we'll do Command R, Control R again on the other axis, do Y axis, and we'll type 20 here. Now just hit escape. And then now, for us to make this little water effect, we're just simply gonna go up here to the proportional editing, click on it, or you can just press O on your keyboard. It also unselects and selects it, and then simply you can go here, and what we're looking for is the actual random. So click on random, and now we can click any random vertex. And first, before, we have to press G, and you'll see you'll have the little strength part. Now if you don't see it on your screen, just scroll inwards until you can see it, and you can see it actually up here on the let me escape real quick. If I press G, you can see these size you have too. So if I were to increase this, you can see it's like on 1, 2, 3, 4. So if yours says like some crazy amount, that means it's too big to where you can't see it on your screen. So here we have it, and I'll have it like slightly right here. And for the most parts, I'll probably get like right about here, and just click, and then you can click on any other part, press G, and then scroll it up again and make it like a little bit wavy. And right now we're just trying to like replicate some sort of like break in the actual pattern to replicate some sort of waves. Now there's definitely add-ons and other ways you can do this with modifiers, but for simplicity's sake, this is the easiest to just do it, just simply clicking, moving it around, and this shows you how to use the proportional editing tool too. And for the most part, it doesn't have to be too much, but just enough to where you can notice there's like some sort of difference in the actual mesh. So simply G, scroll it up, and do this a few more times until you're happy with what you got. And for the most part, majority of the view is going to be in the camera view, so really this is where you're going to see everything. So now if we were to tab back out of edit mode, go to like materials preview, go here to this little globe looking icon, and this is basically we're going to add our materials, and simply click on U. I'll just name this ocean, base color, and we'll just move it to like some sort of blue. And now if we were to go to actual rendered preview, you can see this is what it looks like. So we can adjust the camera in a second, but for right now, let's just go and let's go back to the solid view again. So let me go press 0 to get out of this. And now this is our water. You can get fancier and change it up. And you might notice like if you do this, the bottom part might be a little messed up. Now for this example, it's not going to be important because no one's going to see the bottom. But if you wanted a way to make it to where it's all flat, simply Shift Z, select the entire bottom parts. And if I were to go to edit mode, let's do this again. Select the bottom part like this. Scale Z. Well, actually, let's make sure we are out of promotional editing by pressing O. Then we can do scale Z and then 0, and that makes the entire bottom flat. And that's based off if you were able to select everything. So I didn't get everything here, but that's just the way to do it. But for this video, it doesn't really make too much of a difference. And now we're back to our little ocean view. So now we can go ahead and type Shift A, mesh, and for this one let's go ahead and we're gonna do a similar thing again with the plane, S, 4, click, out, tab edit mode, E to extrude it up, and we'll have something like this. And then we'll tab back into object, GZ, bring it up like this, and let's actually tab edit mode again, GZ up a little bit more, probably like right about here. So this is gonna be like a little island base. So now we can do tab edit mode, Command R, Control R again. Let's do 8 here, press escape, Command R, Control R right here. Actually, my bad. Command Z or Control Z to undo this. Well, actually escape first, Command Z, and then let's do loop cut again, Command R, and let's do 8 and then click. All right, there we go. So now for this is basically, if we go to like a 7, or there's a top view, press O again. This time I'm gonna switch this to smooth. And now if we do click on a random vertex G and we move it around, now you can see we got like everything is moving in its own way. So now just go ahead and just make like a custom little island design, whatever you think looks good. For me, I'm just gonna keep it like here. Go back to 7. Let's do stuff like right here. Drag this back in like this, over here. And for the most part, this is what I got going on right now. So now we can actually add a loop cut here. So Command R, click here. And then if you wanted to, you could scale this inwards a little bit like that. And then even if you wanted to move some stuff here, feel free. G, I'll zoom in a little bit. And again, it's up to you, but again, remember everything's gonna be mainly on this angle with the camera. So whatever you do decide to edit, you'd probably want to focus on this side. This back side really isn't that important, but just how detailed you want to be. And now, I mean, we can go switch back to random and even change up some. So click here, G, make this a little bigger. Yeah, it's like this, even over here, because you don't want to make it too flat looking, and like this. And for the most part, this is what I got going on so far. So now if you were to go into the material preview, let's go and click new. And then let's select this one and let's do the, I think the grass will be the easiest. So I'll type in the grass, click here, switch this up to some sort of green. And again, it's brighter because we're in material preview. Once you go to the render, it's gonna be a little darker. So you can always edit that later. And then now I'm going to hit the plus sign. We're gonna do new again. This will just be the dirt. Now tab in edit mode, either Option or Alt, and make sure you select the face select first. And basically you can select these like this, and shift select the next one, and typically click on the actual line. That way it gets everything. And then we can go ahead and click on Assign, tab out, and now we got a little dirt action going on here, and it's what it's looking like on preview. But you can always make this even darker. So let's see like right about here. Again, it's all preference. We can edit that later, but for the most part, this is what we got going on so far. So now let's make sure we save this really quick. So File, Save As, or Control S or Command S, and then save your file. So now after you've saved it, go ahead and we can simply just shift right click anywhere on the green grass and Shift A, Mesh, add in a cylinder. Now before you click off, go here to this bottom corner, change the vertices to 12, and then let's scale this down a little bit like this, and then scale it on the Z axis like that. So now we can do GZ up right about here, / now into edit mode, or not edit mode, focus mode here, and then tab in edit mode. And technically we could go to select this face, like if you wanted to make it bigger, we can do G. Well, actually, let's make sure we press O first, take off proportion lighting, G, Z up like that. So make it like this, and for the most parts, we'll just keep it like that. And in edit mode, we're gonna do Command R, Control R. Let's do 8. Select it right here, press escape, and then we need to zoom in and add loop cuts in between each one of these. So add in loop cut here, 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 go right here, add another loop cut there. And we're just gonna do this until we get to the top, just like this. There we go, and one more at the top. So now we can go select this bottom one right here, Option or Alt to select it all, and then basically scale it out like this. And then if you wanted to, you could actually go in here and scale this one in too. It's up to you. So I'm gonna scale like this, and I'm gonna make the bottom ones a little bit bigger, and then these smaller ones I'm gonna make them or the higher one's not going to be as wide out. And then option select here, and again it's up to you. And we can also scale this up too, which depends on your preference. So I'll go like here, go like this, option select them again, select it again like this, here, scale this in, same thing here. So let's go like that, and then scale it in, and then we move up to the last one, go like this, and like that. So now, technically this one might be too wide, so let's just zoom it in like this. And technically we can do Shift Z, and we could select like the first top half, and even scale these guys in. And for the most part, I mean, this is what we got, a little base trunk. So I can actually rename this and call this tree trunk. And now what's cool is if we go back in edit mode and click on promotional editing, change this to smooth, and we can just select like the top face here. So let's do Shift Z, select this like right here. And then basically, if I zoom out, I press G, and depending on the power, you can actually change up this actual shape. So we have this like curve right here. And again, feel free to get fancy with that, but we'll keep it like this for now. Make sure we save this, Command S or Control S. Scroll on the top, or you can press 7, zoom in, Shift right click right on the top here. And then we can go Shift A, Mesh, and we're gonna do a UV sphere this time. Press 1. And then basically we're gonna change this to 12. Actually, let's do 10. And then now, let's see, it actually, I think let's do 6. Yeah, there we go. Just easier, it's much easier for us to do this. And then for the ring, let's do 6 as well. Okay, let's see how this looks. 6, actually, let's change that to 10. 10, okay, looks much more better. Okay, so now, what I wanna do is tab in edit mode, and we're gonna do option select, well actually let's switch to faced, option select this, hold shift, let go of option though and hold it here, and then option select, shift click here, shift click here. And I realized my screen caps look like they went off, so let me put that back on real quick. There we go. Okay, so now let's go ahead, and the way that we can unselect this and select the other part is we can go to select here and basically click on invert. So now we can go and X, delete these faces. So now all we have left is this. So technically we can do rotate, and it's the X, let's do, let's see, minus 90, just like that. And now what we want to do is I want to go ahead and shift right click on the tip of this leaf. We can go here to object, set origin, and we can set the origin to the 3D cursor. So now when we press 7, Shift Z, G, I can move it right about here. So Shift Z again. So obviously we got to scale this down. Tab in edit mode. Let's see. We have to first off select this, scale it. Well, let's see. Escape first. Press O. Scale it, and let's do on the Z a little bit. Make it a little thinner. Yeah, like that. GZ down, just like this. So now, again, you can't get fancy and make these like open and stuff, but for the simplicity, we'll keep like this. We can do Option D, rotate Z, and let's do, actually, hold on, make sure the origin, yeah, rotate Z. Okay, yeah, so it's right there, so it should be, let's do Option D again, rotate 90. Alright, there we go. Actually, hold on. 7 view, then rotate 90. There we go. So now we can do Option D again, or Alt D, rotate 90. Option D, rotate 90. There we go. And the reason we're doing Option D instead of Shift D is because, or Alt D is because we want to have it linked. So if I go here now, and I'm in a materials preview, let me say it really quick. I get new, and I go to the green, they all become green. And it just makes your life like a million times easier. So now you could get fancier and make these, like for example, scale it on, let's see, this is the X. So I can scale it like this. It's up to you. If I Shift Z, tab edit mode, and then scale on the X, they all scale. So it's all, again, preference. Let's go like that. And then now I can go ahead and select them all. And we can do, let's see, let's do Shift D, rotate 45. Boom, there we go. And now have something like this. And right now you can go ahead and move them up if you want to, and you know, like rotate them and change up the shape. But for this sake, I'm gonna keep it like this. And let me add the color to the tree trunk. Let's go, let's see, probably right about here, and let's just call this tree trunk. Yeah, and this one would just be tree leaves, L-E-A-V-S. So for the most part now, I want to select all of these guys first, and then shift select the tree trunk. We'll do Command P and base keep it to object. So now when I move him, everything moves around with it. And now let's go ahead and let's press / again. And now we got this tree. So what we can do is, if I shift select everything, scale this guy down like this. I'll keep it like really small, GZ, and move it like right about here. So I think it'll be easier to see where we're at, just like that. So now if you wanted to, we can actually move this to a new collection and keep these trees separate. It's all a preference, so we can actually do that. Let's do M, new collection, let's call this trees. Now there is another way to make a bunch of trees way easier with the particle system, but for the sake of this one, we're gonna keep this fairly simple. So I'm just gonna do like Option D again, shrink it down, rotate Z a little bit, and let's see, let's go to 0 view, and we'll fix the camera in a second. But now we can do Option D again, move it down here, make this even smaller. Let's actually go to material and see how this looks. And for the most part, we're just gonna add a few trees, so let's just go like this. There's cool ways you can right click the collection, select the object. So now we have all these trees here. Now we can do, then we can just do Option D, click into like right here, and let's do GZ down. Let's see, right about there. And let's rotate Z like maybe like this. And then basically go ahead and add a bunch of trees onto the island and wherever you preference. And then after that, you can go ahead and create the next step. And then also make sure you save it. So now let me press 1. I'll select them like this. And let's do Shift D again. Let's move this on the Y-axis, put some trees over here, rotate Z. And then we can probably do another Shift D even here. And let's see, rotate Z like this. And let's see, so the most part we'll keep it like that. We'll add more trees later if you want to. Check out, save real quick, render preview. Okay, it looks like this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do Shift A, mesh. This time we're gonna do a cube. And the reason we're doing a cube you'll see in a second, but basically we'll tab in edit mode, Command R, Control R. Let's do 4 here, click escape, Command R, 4 here, click escape, and Command R, let's do like 2 right there. So we got some vertices here we can work with. So now we can just go ahead and basically we're gonna make some sort of like mountain looking thing right here. So just click them out, drag them in, it's up to you. Let's go like this, go like this. Let's see, go like here. Again, you can get fancy with this, but let's go here. And I basically, what I wanna have is like some sort of like pointed-ish area. So somewhat pointy looking, like a top of a mountain. Here we can move this out here like that. And you're probably wondering, why am I using a cube instead of like the icosphere? Because if you use the icosphere, you won't be able to add loop cuts in between, and that's how we have that special effect with like the top part. So again, let's even get over here too, get some mountain action here. And for the most part, this is like our giant little mountain rock. So I go press 0, we see it looks like this. And for the most part, this is solid right now. And what we could do is we can do Shift D, move it over on the, let's see, is this the X? Yeah, it's Y here, and then GX right here. Rotate Z around just like that. And let's see, is it close and touching? No, it's fine. And let's see how it looks from here. And we can actually tab edit mode, G, move it up a little bit too. You know, add some differentiation, just go. And for the most part, all the parts that's visible I'm gonna mess with. And then we'll save really quick, click here. Now, we can call this guy, let's actually do mountain, because I'm gonna add little rocks too. go here, and let's make it, let's see, yeah, let's keep it, actually I want to keep it a little lighter. I'll keep it like a little light like this, and then the same one will have, where's it at, mountain right here, and then I'm gonna click into here and go to like the top view, and we'll select like these top faces right here. Actually, I gotta go to face select first. Go like, yeah, like right about here, and then here, mountain, there, new, add, make it a little bit whiter here, and top, and I'll just call this like, just say white because I don't know what they call it. You call it snow if you want to. And then same thing here, select these, change this to the white color, and assign there. Actually, wait, hold on. Command Z, I forgot to hit the plus sign, my bad. So Command Z, Control Z, then hit new, and then go to white, and then hit assign. There we go. And now what I want to do is let's add some more trees. So let's go zoom, click right here, Shift D. Let's do X and GY, GX. Scale these down, rotate a little bit on the Z. Click out. Got some more tree action, and these guys are quite low. So let me actually zoom in and select these guys really quick. So if I can go here, I can probably find them. Yeah, so these guys right here. Need to right click and select the hierarchy as well. So I just tree trunk there, GZ. Actually, it looks like just that guy. So yeah, so that one's the one that's higher. And now we can go ahead and let's create a little difference in the actual design. So let's do this. Let's Shift D, drag it out, scale it down. Just get rid of this this little Snow White part looking thing up here. Go to 7. Let's move it down like right here. Scale it down. Make sure we're touching GZ there. It's much easier if we go into like this solid view like this. And then we can do Option D, change it up again, scale it down, even rotate it. And again, this is just for like aesthetics, whatever you want to add. And then maybe we can do like one more over here, just random rock chilling. Click here, rotate Z. There we go. And then basically, let's go back. And now we can go ahead and add the final touches. So I'm just actually, originally I made this into like a lava thing, but you can make this like the water part, what I'm gonna do. So I just shift right click like right on top of this mountain, Shift A, and basically I just added a, well technically you could add multiple things, but I think a cylinder or even a cube would be easy too. It just depends on like how complex you wanna make this. And if you were to scroll in like this, and now what's cool is if we just tap in edit mode and I click here, I can just extrude it out like this, and then same thing, I can extrude it out like this, extrude it out again, extrude it out again, and again, and again, and again, until we get basically to the end. And then I can do G and pretty much move this entire thing up to like basically touching the island, like right about here. And same thing here, we can just move a G and just touching the island like here. See if I can zoom in, see how it looks. And click down here. And basically this is gonna be like the little river area. And right now it looks way crazy, but for the most part, let's move it down like that. And then we could technically scale this down a little bit too. It might be a little too big. And then now we could add a few more loop cuts if you wanted to. And then, you know, switch it up in between. Add some loop cuts. Actually, yeah. Let me change. Command Z. Add some more loop cuts in here. And basically, we're just going to make like a little low poly, little lava looking thing. So now we can go in the vertices here. And basically, I'll select... It's easier if we could technically get rid of the tree trunk. So let me go ahead and click, actually, let's move these first. Move these back into the first selection. And then for the trees, let's just unselect them here. Alright, so now I can just go ahead and get creative with this and just move this down like this. And then let's move these guys down here. touching the actual grass. So let's move them down again, just like that. Command R loop cut here. Let's scale this out like this. And even these guys, we can just move them in like here. And basically, you'll see what we're making after we get done real quick. So boom, drag this down here, and then we can even move this guy even out more. And then if we want to, I can extrude that out. Let's see. Get rid of the ocean, hide it real quick. Actually, hold on. This guy, hide it real quick. Go under here, face select this, and it'll just extrude it down like that. And now we have this like little lava, low poly looking thing. So right now we can click into it and we can change the color. It'll be easier to see. Let's save real quick. So if I wanted to make this like a lava thing, I could select the orange and change the emission to basically, well, actually go to emission first and then go to orange and change this to like a 3. So now if we go into like the render view, this is what it looks like. And again, we can move and move some stuff around. It's again, it's up to you. Let's take out O this time, and now I just want to move stuff by itself. And we can go and click on the vertices, make this more rounded. Again, up to you. And ideally, if you wanted to make these darker to make like a volcano looking, feel free. Or if you wanted to change this into like even like a blue, like a bright blue like this, feel free. But I'll keep it relatively like this, because then when we go into cycles view, you'll see there's like significant difference in the actual flow. And if we do option H or alt H, well, actually no, we can just unselect it like this. Let's see how our thing looks right now. So lava looks quite large. So let me keep it. Actually no, let's do, I think it's just the camera view. So let's click on the camera view. And then basically I want to shift left tab or the asterisk and zoom it out. But first off, I need to switch this to let's see, orthographic. That's much better. And then we just zoom it out here. That way, yeah, see, now it fits much better. So now we can change, let's do Y up about here. And let's see, probably I think 14 would make sense. So here's 14. Y is right there. For the ocean, we can just simply scale this up until it covers the edges like that. And then I want to change the roughness a little bit more shiny. And then if you think the lava is too much, feel free to shrink it up and adjust it. But it's kind of hard to see in the low poly part because of, again, the emission. But you can see it's very, very low poly. If you want to make this more fluid, again, feel free. And then we could technically, let's see, I want to add a few more trees and some more designs here. And I think, yeah, lava's about to burn my trees right here. So let's go select these tree guys right here. 7. Option, let's put it like right there. Let's shrink these guys up, rotate them like this. And let's see, GZ, put them down like that. So now press 0. That's what we got going on so far. And then I want to, first off, go back into cycles view, see how this looks. So now we need to do this. We have to add some lighting. So Shift A, area light, we'll scale it up, GZ, and let's scale it up a little more. And we'll do GY, rotate Y, actually no, rotate X. Go about like right here. Change this light over here to, let's try 500 first. Yeah, we'll do probably 300. And then I'm gonna do another one, Shift A, light area, scale it again, GZ, and we're gonna do, let's try 300 again, GX, because I want to get this this other side here, rotate, let's see, it should be X, no, Y, rotate Y like this. And now we have this light like this. And then we can do one more light if you want to, feel free, but let's do one like here. GY, rotate X like this, GZ. And now we can do, let's see, 200. And we could change this like a different color too if you wanted to. That way the the actual like water looks like a different color. So let's see, like this maybe. And then I think this emission might be too bright. Let's try 2. Let's see how that looks. Maybe we can make it a little darker or lighter, just depends. But for the most part, again, you can tweak this up. And then basically, I think the grass needs to be much darker. So let's do a little bit darker grass. And then for the dirt, we could do even lighter dirt. I think too, technically it's the coloring of the water. But let's go ahead and let's see if I can add some more lights. Just a normal point light. GY light, right? Let's see, GY. Here, let's do 500, see what happens. GZ. And now we have a little bit more reflection, and then we'll do 7, Shift D, this light over here. So I can see the water. Okay, now click, press, see where's my camera, there it is. So it adds a little more lighting to it. And then now if you wanted to, I still think the lava might be too thick. So let's fix that last thing, and then afterwards we'll pretty much be good. So tab in, and let's select, scale this on the X axis. Nope, on the Y, there we go. Scale on the Y, and then scale on the Z, and then G, Y over, and let's just put this inside of here, and then GZ, drag it down like that. And this is basically coming out like the side of the of this right here. And then pretty much, let's see, Shift Z here, we can scale this in, GX, like that. So now I press 0. I think it looks much more scaled on the actual thing. And this last part, I just want to fix this. Press O, G, bring them down, touching the ground, just like that. Because lava can't be floating like that. Same here, yeah. Let's put, yeah, just like that. So again, all preference, but for the most part, this is how we have so far. And then I press 0 and zoom out. And I think the rocks are a little too bright to where you can't really see the difference in the snow part. So yeah, there we go. So you want to add more trees, you could technically, or if you want to add it grass, you can as well. But for the most part, I'm gonna keep like this, and then I want to make this a little bit let's see, a little more oceany, but not like purplish. Purple does look kind of cool though, I'm not gonna lie, but keep it like that. And then I want to change the you can add a clear coat if you wanted to. But for the most part, we'll keep it like this. And then basically now, if you actually need a light in the back, that's one thing I forgot. So 7, click here. Let's see, Shift D, add a light in the back. C0. There we go. And I think the actual let's see, the ocean needs a little more polyness to it. So yeah, move it up a little bit. There we go. And for the most part, that's what we got going on. Feel free to tweak this up. But now if we go here to cycles, you can see it much clearly. And then basically you'll save this. Go here to the second option. Change the file name to whatever you want. Have it on PNG. And then basically for the let's go back to the top rendered. Here I can do 128 here, but I'll do 512 for my image. And then basically go render image, and then pretty much fix here. So I think the camera needs to be a little slightly over, but for the most part, we can tweak that up afterwards. But aside from that, want to see more tutorials, low poly videos, like and subscribe. See you in the next one.